Okay, we've reviewed everything from active problem solving, the ideas of self-directed, being a self-motivated learner in order to be successful in this course. We also reviewed some of these learning links and cloud-based software that you would be using, as well as some things to think about when communicating through email. So we're just going to wrap up all of that today by taking again a quick look at email. So when you send an email, I talked about some of the conventions, like just putting your course code, maybe the unit and activity you're working on, and as much detail as you can. The one thing to avoid is this priority button down here. A lot of people tend to send me a priority that is urgent, and which is maybe appropriate if there's something very dire, a sickness, a death, but be aware of what is a true emergency in this case. Is it because things were left to the last minute, which makes it urgent for you, but maybe not necessarily for me? So just be aware of what might constitute an emergency. So the use of this term really reminds me of that story about the boy that cried wolf. Really reserve the use of urgent for true emergencies, okay? We talked about this online software and all these cloud-based applications you have access to. When you do your work through many of these, Mendomo, Prezi, Google, you're going to be submitting a shareable link to me that allows me to access your work. The way that you can do that, don't send it by email. You can actually submit it right to Dropbox. And in the Dropbox, you can put it as a comment. So over here you see a comment. Whenever you submit work, it allows you to put a comment. You can actually copy and paste your shareable link right into here. The only problem with Dropbox is it requires you to submit a file no matter what. So it's not really a big deal. Just submit a little text file, which I did here. And inside that text file, you can just copy and paste your link again if you want, so that you've put it in there twice. The idea of it being shareable, make sure that I'll be able to access your work. A way to do that is to send it to somebody else prior to sending it to me and make sure that they can open it. If they can't open it, then probably neither can I. All your work goes through turnitin.com, which checks it for plagiarism and any similarity to any other work. This one showing up as blue is 0% because there's not much in it. But if it shows up as red or orange, you may want to take a look at your work and just make sure that the work within it is cited for sources. Over here, you'd have your score, your mark, and then any feedback. Normally, I'd copy and paste your rubric and provide any feedback here. And every now and then I'll also record some audio that speaks directly to your assignment. What I really like about e-learning is that everything is very transparent. All our communication, there's a record of it. Our email back and forth in our correspondence, there's a record of that. All the news postings are there, and any feedback that you've received throughout the course will all be available here. As I mentioned, everything is very transparent regarding our communication. Including when you log in, there's a record of when you've logged in and what you've actually done. So not just the amount of time that the computer sat logged into D2L, but did you actually do anything? And there's a record of all of that within the system that we're able to see. So if I have somebody that says I spent 4 hours on it last night, we're able to quickly see, did they truly spend 4 hours and do anything while they were logged into D2L? Okay, so just keep that in mind. Every now and then I receive an email from people saying I really need a 90% in this course or something to that effect. And they spend more time emailing me about this 90% that they require than actually putting the work in required to earn a 90%. Okay, so just be very aware of that. If you have any questions or concerns, again, please don't hesitate to contact me.